Here we are. People can see us. People can hear us. Welcome to the goddamn show. As you might notice, the names and the pictures are all fucked up. We're about to fix that. I think you all pretty much know who all we are. I think our newest face here is Irene. So Irene, if you want to say hi, and if there's anything you want to plug, I would be absolutely thrilled if you could go ahead and plug it at this time.
I'm DM Irene.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm DM Irene. Mostly what I do is I mostly do tabletop stuff. Or I used to do like map making stuff on my own channel.
Oh yeah.
I've kind of taken a break from that. But so I haven't streamed in a couple months. Plan on getting back to that in a bit. I do with my gaming clan, the Battle Group Valkyrie. I do a once a month Pathfinder stream, which we got that coming up next month. And then Wednesday, I don't know, am I allowed to plug what I do on Wednesdays because it's in the same slot as you guys?
I don't. No, plug away, please. Absolutely.
We'll let the free market decide here, America.
So on Wednesdays, you can catch me over on the Zweihander RPG Twitch channel.
Oh yeah, left-handed path, right?
No, the in between.
Oh, the in between. I'm sorry.
Yeah, with Matt and a couple other people, Nacho, Adam, different Adam, not Adam Rose, but
not Adam Rose.
Another
Okay.
Adam, not Adam Rose.
I was about to say because Adam Rose is my bestie.
Yeah, no, not Adam Rose.
Yeah, that's when we'd have to say no. Immediately start watching.
And Sean and Will. We're playing the in between, run by Matt Jowett.
Cool.
I hope I just said his last name right.
Yeah, you got it right, Matt Jowett. Matt Jowett and I are good buddies. We both we started up the Notorious DMG group, which most of us have played games on here. Yeah, I'm still getting things aligned. Good news is I'm really.
Apparently, we started a little too hot.
What's going on?
I'm just getting some feedback on the side.
Oh, okay. It's just what I do. I'm
Started
naturally
a little too
hot.
Hot? What does that mean?
Like too loud.
Oh, listen. I've been drinking.
Our channel's audio is different, I think.
Is it?
I don't know.
I don't know. They'll survive. I'm not going to fix our images too close. Listen, we're just shooting shit, hanging out. So what I would like to suggest is the first thing we're going to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Did I get it close?
No, you didn't.
Oh, that's too bad.
I was fine. There were a bunch very quickly in a row. Yeah. I was fine.
There were 72 sneezes in that span.
Yeah. So the rule of the channel is when Jen covers up her camera,
everybody start counting.
Everyone start counting.
Take bets.
I'll stop streaming with you if you do that to me. I will stop.
Everybody at home also start counting.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I'll just throw off my headphones and stop looking at things, and that'll just completely. That'll be
even better.
Yeah, that Zweihander session was pretty fun though. I enjoyed the first half of Tomfoolery was really good.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, honestly, it was nice to do this again.
I'm sorry, give me 1 second.
No problem.
It's way too dark for me to be using that. Okay.
Jen, do you have any experience with a Bitter Harvest?
Me?
I'm sorry, Jen. I meant to say Irene.
So the only experience I have is reading it.
Oh, okay.
So like for Zweihander, before Gen Con, the only thing I had done was run the adventure that I'm writing, or that I was writing and working on, and I'm running again tomorrow for my for Battle Group Valkyrie. That's off stream, but that's like before Gen Con. That was all the experience I had with Zweihander, was running half of that adventure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry if I don't see him. I'm still getting our shit plugged right in the template. Also, thanks there, T-Narg, for another sub.
Ooh.
All right.
Spiffy.
All right. I'm almost done. I've got our names in. Good enough for today. Cameras aren't super great.
You should have put Dan as dead.
Oh, I didn't even put... I need to fix the top row. Fuck it. I don't care. Those of you on the bottom might be pod people. We're not sure. All right.
I mean, Jen is Jen.
Jen is Jen.
That's who I
Jake
am.
is Jake.
Jen
Dan is Dan. Us on the top
row.
row, we just get a name. We are who we are. The rest of you are just...
I'm pretending. I'm doing my best Dan impression. I mean, I got my haircut, so you guys can't tell.
So, Jake, one thing that I do miss about getting to do, like, these other streams that we do, like, we don't get to do your ads. Can I put you on the spot and have you give us an ad? A sponsor?
Yeah.
Nice.
I miss them so much, actually. I really do.
Let me see here. Oh,
We
hey.
don't want to give all of our good bits away.
Yeah, let's see. No.
Oh, I need to get Defoe in here. That's what we're missing. Bam. Oh, I need to line Defoe up a little more.
A lot of Halloween stuff there.
It's fine.
We're
It's
getting close.
Halloween
We're
in
getting close
August.
to Halloween.
Yeah.
Halloween's the only holiday worth a damn. If it wants to take up 3 or 4 months, I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
Well, since we're talking about out-of-season holidays,
Oh, I like this
let's just
one.
go ahead and plug aggressivedecos.com for all your aggressive early holiday decorations. Do you live in a block, trailer park, or apartment complex devoid of holiday cheer all year? Is September more than soon enough to show the commies next door your love of the good Lord? Then head to aggressivedecos.com for your aggressive early holiday decorations. Put up zombies on February 12th, mangers on March 7th, pilgrims on January 29th. These options and more are ready to annoy neighbors and city council members alike with your festive superiority. Enter coupon code Keep Christ in Labor Day at aggressivedecos.com for 10% off your Merry fucking Christmas set today.
Oh, those are great. Absolutely wonderful.
Fantastic, man.
My favorite part is probably Keep Christ in Labor Day.
It's so good. It's so good. Oh, what am I doing? So one thing we did for this spot is we did come up with a bunch of... I can close Firefox.
You can,
Thank God.
or you should.
Wait, we just got a Jeremy asking about joining.
Oh, no.
Oh, he can go in the corner.
He can take Defoe's spot.
Yeah, he can even be more important than the rest of us. Jeremy.
So, one thing we did, and I gotta find it, is we came up with a list of shit that we can talk about when we do these. I gotta find it, because I stuck it in my Trello board.
Nah, I know we talked about the idea of bits for discussion points too.
We did. Listen, throw bits at us. We'll talk about shit if you throw bits at us.
Throw bits at us.
Throw bits at us. Just pour money on us,
All
and
right.
we'll talk about whatever you want.
Listen, all right, we got 4 options to choose from. Do we want to do GM discussion, live game, prep/build, movies, TV, books, or Kickstarters? If we can't decide... Well, all right, go buy our zine. Dan dies in the end. 50 cents on Drive-Thru-RPG. It's amazing.
Yeah, we just sold our 100th copy.
We are
earlier,
now silver
yeah.
bestsellers on Drive-Thru-RPG.
Mm-hmm.
It is definitely worth it.
True
I
story.
mean, 50 cents. You can't get anything worth
It's
a damn
fucking
for 50
great.
cents.
I know.
It's a very
you
low
can't
bar.
even buy a soda anymore. It's
I
ridiculous.
know. That
This
used
is
to
like
be
$17 for this energy drink.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
I sold my child for one.
I paid $20 for a dry hander, and it is way more financial worthwhile. All right,
People just running down the street with wheelbarrows of children, please.
I'm gonna
Give
roll
me
a D4 to pick our topic. That is a 3. Oh shit, T-Narg!
Angrily throws bits.
T-Narg, what do you want us to talk about?
There you go.
If not, what did I roll? I rolled a 3, which is movie, TVs, books. Categories we have in movies, TV, books. Latest film releases. Or Christ, Rona, go away so I can go to the movies. Next category, best movies you've watched this week / worst movie you've watched this week.
Well, the worst one, we got that locked down pretty easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next category.
Hard.
Oh, there's a Jeremy. I'm going to have to adjust our template.
Oh,
There he is.
who did I become?
Jeremy.
I became
no.
nobody. I disappeared.
Yep, I'll fix it.
Me, in fact,
I can
everybody
fix
else
it.
stayed put. It's just me.
Oh my god,
You're Dan now, Jeremy.
I'm ruining everything.
No, it's fine. I just
It's
got to
just me,
mute
actually.
Defoe.
Dan is Jeremy in the end.
Dan's Jeremy in the end, or the
Nice.
beginning.
We're one and the same.
Let's see.
Do
Oh,
the fusion dance thing.
Yeah.
Except nobody can see me doing that, so I don't know why I'm bothering. Oh, they can see my elbow.
close enough.
You gotta get them
all you
elbows
need.
at the right angle.
Yeah, that's the important stuff. You got to get the elbow action in.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a little Jeremy.
Oh,
He's a baby, Jeremy.
it's true. I'm a giant baby.
That means that everyone watching can see how
What?
haphazardly.
Say I put a hooker in the trunk. How did I miss that?
What?
What?
I mean,
What?
What?
is that what we're talking about?
Oh,
Jen
dead
watched
hooker in a
Dead
trunk.
Hooker?
It's a
Sorry.
movie.
What?
What?
Oh, I thought you were talking about the dead hooker in my trunk. I was scared. I was like, how did you know?
That's
why I was
I
so
have not-
late.
I have not
listen.
seen
Self-incriminating,
Dead
stop.
Hooker in the trunk. In the trunk.
I
have not
am a
seen
married man now, so I keep all my dead hookers inside like a proper gentleman.
Is it a good movie? It doesn't
Listen,
sound like a good movie.
Charles,
It sounds
you,
like
oh, I'm sorry, too old. You came hot with that suggestion.
It doesn't. It sounds like.
Yeah,
Ah.
the Saska.
Sounds like a
sisters.
movie we'd watch,
Okay.
honestly.
I mean, really.
Is it a
I'm-
home
okay.
movie? Is that what this
Oh God.
I'm looking into it.
I'm looking at it too.
Is
2,500.
this already on our list? Because I
Uh,
have it visited on IMDb.
There's a good
Jen.
chance it's on our list then.
Jen,
Yeah,
you have Shudder, right?
I do have.
Oh
Shudder.
yeah. Yeah.
Shudder's-
I don't think that it's on Shudder, but they did an interview on the core TV show with the Saska sisters.
Ah.
So, and that's on Shudder. So you should be able to watch. So that might have been where you might have heard it. If you've seen that, I don't know.
It's an IS distribution.
One thing that's good about Shudder is that it's not just movies and TV shows, but it has interviews, documentaries.
Documentaries. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty
That-
cool.
A little bit of
The-
other stuff. Yeah.
The recent
Uh,
documentary they added with the Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2 is really good. Starring.
Yeah, I really
folks.
want to see that.
It's
I
good.
want to watch that too.
It's really worth watching.
Yeah, listen, Too Old to Twitch, we worked together for a real long time, and he is a huge horror movie buff. So
Ooh,
all the
okay.
weird indie horror movies, like, he's the one
These
to
are my
talk
people.
about. Yeah.
Wonderful.
He's
So
a nightmare
anyway,
person.
so I guess we're talking about horror movies. Let's just go with the best movie we've all watched this week, and then we're gonna follow up with the worst movie we've all watched this week, because I am gonna win
Unfortunately for
on
me,
the
it's the
worst.
same movie.
Oh, I don't know.
Five of us. Five of us at least have the same answer.
Oh my
All
god.
right, what is this
We're
answer?
gonna win this one.
Same answer.
What is it? I want to know.
Well,
No, we'll talk about it later. We'll get to it.
Yeah.
Shh, we'll get to it later. Shh.
All right, let's go through best. We're
Brendan.
gonna start with my template layout. Brendan, what's your best movie this week?
It was last week, but I'm gonna use it anyway because I've mostly watched bad movies this week.
Yeah.
Last week was Midsummer. This week
Oh,
would
it's
be Tammy
an
and the
amazing
T-Rex.
movie. I love Midsummer.
I love Hereditary and I like Midsummer more.
I like
And,
Midsummer more as well.
Yeah. It's Jen posited that it's Hereditary in reverse, and I am on board with that.
It
call.
is
That's
the best breakup movie I have ever seen.
and empowerment and
Yeah.
like anti-gaslighting and so many good things. Midsummer is amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Midsummer is great. I'm next in the thing, so I'm going to go number 2. I'm not going to pick a movie because I made these rules. I can break them as I please. My choice is actually a TV show. This week, I have started watching the Netflix series Another Life, starring Katie Sackhoff from Battlestar Galactica, and the third Riddick movie. I will say I've watched all of the first season. That's all that's out. It starts out amazing. It is a really good show when it starts out, and then it devolves into fucking rubbish. And I don't know how the writing took such a hard turn, because it starts off very much sci-fi survival, like a bunch of people in a spaceship. They got a goal, and it's their interpersonal conflicts about how to do the mission. And it turns into very much who's fucking who this episode. Very long slow-mo action shots, and then like a shitty version of Star Trek where there's like space is so uninhabited and dangerous. Like, oh hey, there's a moon there that's got an atmosphere. Let's go see what's down there. And it disappointed me so hard in the end.
I hate watched that series.
Oh yeah, you've watched it too.
Like, I have. Like I didn't even like it in the beginning. I didn't even like it in the beginning, but I still watched it. I'm like, it'll get better.
It doesn't. It gets worse.
I'm halfway through. No, it got worse. He's totally right. Like,
right.
Yeah, it just gets totally worse. Like at a certain point, like when you think about these stories, right? Like this show is all about like saving humanity or investigating like this really dangerous threat, and like everyone's just like running around in space in tank tops and seeing who's hottest, and like it's just, and like not even doing it ironically in a funny way. They're just sort of doing it because they're taking themselves incredibly seriously. It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad, and it got a second season.
Oh, it did. That's too bad.
And it's getting season 2.
Well, Netflix always gives 3 seasons to everything. Yeah. If it's good, if it's bad, if it's like mediocre, they get 3 seasons.
We need a TV show.
We'll just give you 3 seasons, do it cheap, and you'll get your money.
Yeah. So, listen, the reason why I was so hyped about it is because I love Stargate Universe. My favorite fucking Stargate show. Like, I watched the shit out of SG-1. I watched some of Atlantis. Stargate Universe was my fucking jam. Like, and it got canceled at the end of the first season, and it didn't deserve it. It was so good. And so I'm like, oh, Another Life. This kind of looks like it could be that, and then no. It was so bad, so disappointing.
No.
Jen, what do you got? What's your worst movie or show this week?
I feel bad talking about the worst, so I'm gonna wait to talk about the worst.
Okay.
The best movie. I feel like I need to be skipped so I can think of. I actually watched a lot of movies. I watched a lot of movies over the last week because I had last week off, and I think even yesterday I watched a ton of movies.
Okay.
So,
well, if you want to, I was going to say, if you want to be skipped, we did get a question from chat from Javon. Do any of you watch Mythic Quest?
Oh, it's Javon. Yes.
I don't know. It sounds familiar. Can someone give me a rundown of what Mythic Quest is?
It's an Apple Plus original.
Oh, I don't watch it. Fuck Apple.
That's a nope for me also.
You get free when you buy Apple products, and I got an iPad, and so I got
never own an Apple product.
I can't. Honestly, I would love to buy an iPad with a pen just so I could use it for drawing dungeons, but okay, I don't know shit about Mythic Plus.
I hate Apple too much. I'll never do it.
So give me a rundown of what is Mythic Plus.
So it's a game developer that's running a MMO, basically very WoW-like, but with an extremely conceited creative director played by Mac from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And
Ashley Birch is in it from Hey Ash, What You Playing?
Oh, nice.
Love that.
She did
Tiny Tina.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
She's really good. And she plays a tester and does a good job of that. There's lots of good in-jokes about the industry. Some of it not super accurate to actually working in dev, but in those moments, it's like you can hand wave it away. It's not offensively wrong.
For people who play Valorant, she also voices Viper in Valorant. We worked with her. Riot worked with her to get her recorded as Viper.
There you go.
As well.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
So here's a question. I watched all of Silicon Valley. I know game development versus app development is a completely different beast. Have any of you, those of you who've watched Mythic Quest, have you watched Silicon Valley?
I I've watched the first 2 seasons. Jen,
Which
have you watched
one gets the programming life more accurate?
Silicon Valley.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think that they. Well, to be fair, like the programming life is one thing because they kind of just it's a light brush on programming in Silicon Valley. I think that it's more about entrepreneurialism in Silicon Valley. That is more like you're starting up your own business and that type of like. Obviously, there are ridiculous things that happen in both of them. I think that Mythic Quest is a little more of a parody, like an extreme level. Although there are moments in it where I'm like, yeah, that is what it's like to work at a game studio. And it's like, it's kind of uncomfortable at times. It's like, oh no, I feel very seen as this is. But yeah,
I don't
know.
like this picture because I'm in it.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah.
All right.
There's one bottle episode that stars 2 characters that aren't in the main narrative very much. They make a indie game in the early 90s, kind of like Doom era, like 91, 92.
Yeah.
And it kind of plots like the turmoil of working together in a relationship with the backdrop of being indie devs, and it's actually like a really touching episode. So if you didn't want to jump into a whole big narrative, you could do that bottle episode just to get a sense of the feel of the show, and I actually really like that episode.
All right.
I came up with my movie that I liked that I think is going to be incredibly displeasing to most people.
All right.
So the movie that I watched, and I watched it, I didn't watch it yesterday, I watched it the day before. I watched Jawbreaker again.
Awesome.
Which is like movie from the late 90s. It's a very like a rated R Mean Girls, I would say. The premise of the movie is for somebody's birthday, much like in the campaign we played tonight, much for someone's birthday, they fake kidnap a woman or a girl who's in high school. And the one woman stuffs, or the one girl from, I say girl because she's in high school, I have to remember girl from high school. She shoves a jawbreaker in her mouth, and the girl accidentally swallows the jawbreaker as they're kidnapping her, and she chokes on it and dies. And then the 3 friends have to like cover up her murder, and they essentially like do like the glam up of one of like the ugly girls at school. So you kind of get that vibe from like the 90s movies. It's horrendous. Marilyn Manson is in it, which, you know, he's super problematic nowadays. He's always been problematic.
Always.
Rose McGowan is in it as well.
I don't think I've seen this.
It is a
Gayheart.
Yes. Yeah, there's Judy Greer plays Fern, the girl who gets glammed up, and you might remember her from lots of like Ant-Man. She's an Ant-Man. But yeah, she's in tons of stuff. But yeah, that was my
streaming?
Shudder. It's on Shudder.
Okay.
They popped it up on Shudder, and then I watched that, and then my second movie would have been Romy and Michelle's High School Reunion, because I rewatched that movie too, and that's just like a fucking awful movie that's just so good. I love it so much.
It's a great movie. I haven't seen it in years.
Because that's got Lisa Kudrow, and who else was the other?
I do not know the name of the other actress in it. I'm happy to look it up.
Mia Serrano?
She's been in a ton of stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
She got blacklisted from Hollywood for speaking out against Weinstein. Mira Sorvino, right?
Sorvino, yeah.
Sorvino, thank you.
But she's been in a lot of horror stuff too. She's been in like apparently she was in Mimic.
Oh God, fuck that movie.
Watch Mimic.
Oh my God.
Lead in Mimic. I think
she was the lead in the Mimic.
Yeah, was that who that is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That was one of her first big movies, if I remember right.
Wasn't she in Wild Things too?
Oh,
I don't know.
I do not recall her.
She wasn't in Wild Things. She wasn't in Wild Things.
Denise Richards, Nev Campbell.
Okay, yeah.
I know what those two.
Jeff has watched that movie so many times.
How dare you, Jeremy?
And then I'm happy to wait to talk about the worst movie that we've watched. I'm willing to give up the floor for somebody else.
Well, let's keep going in order. Jeff, what do you got?
Is it my turn?
Yeah, buddy.
Okay, so is this best? Because I mean, I'm gonna because we all have a shared.
I think we're going. Are we going worst or best? I said worst.
Best. I said best. I gave my best that I watched.
I didn't follow the rules. Your choice, worst or best.
Okay, so we have a shared worst, so I'll go with best.
Okay.
and I haven't watched a ton, but like the most recent movie, and I actually liked it. It was Upgrade. Have you seen Upgrade?
Oh, Upgrade's good.
Fucking love it.
It's
Logan
fucking
Marshall Green.
sci-fi Venom. It's really good.
It's like cyberpunky, you know.
It's good.
So like it's about a guy who, you know, it's like set in a relatively near future. So it's not too far from now, and like it's spoiled in the trailer. So this is like the premise. Like something really bad happens between this guy and his wife, and he becomes a paraplegic, and this tech whiz decides they have this little thing that's going to suddenly make him not be paraplegic anymore, and so he kind of almost becomes all sort of matrixy,
like superhuman.
Yeah. And so like it's this constant battle between like him like slowly giving over like his humanity as he's like kind of going for this revenge for what happened to his wife.
Oh yeah, that is pretty cyberpunk.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And like, I mean, there's definitely like there's action sequences in it too, and like it's filmed pretty cool. Like there's some like little neat shots where it's like the kid. I mean, I don't know shit about like what they're doing, but like there's like these really interesting shots that sometimes happen as he's like giving over control over to the AI, and so you can kind of see the shifts, and he just doesn't really know what's going on too. And there is like I won't ruin the ending, but like there was a moment at the ending where I was just like, oh shit, are they gonna do one of those things? That sucks. And then they did it. And I was like, oh okay. So
it ends solid. And I love the actor's response. It's like as if he's surprised by the movements he's doing.
Exactly.
I love it.
Yeah.
I gotta say, he looks like a dollar store Tom Hardy.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Totally.
Logan Marshall Green. Yeah, I always remember Logan Marshall Green from a show called The Traveler from like the '90s. It was like,
oh wow, okay.
Anyone remember that? It was like a 1 season, 13 episode thing.
Yeah,
had the guy from White Collar in it, and I don't know. I just never remember. I always remember that, and it got canceled, and I was like, oh, it's like such a mystery. I don't know what's ever gonna happen now. But I would recommend that one, and I think it's on I think it's playing on FX now. So I think you can, you know, you can.
It is, I'll agree with you. It is a good fucking movie.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. All right, Irene, you're up next. What was your best thing you watched this week?
So I've only watched one movie this week. So I'm gonna I believe Brendan did this. So I'm gonna go back to last week.
Okay.
The movie I watched that was the best movie that I've seen in a while was The Color Out of Space.
Cool.
I don't know that movie.
Nikki Cage.
Oh man, Matt was talking about it. That's how I knew, like, because it's on Canadian Netflix, and Matt was talking about it in the Zweihander Off Topic channel. It's on YouTube. You can rent it for like $3 on YouTube.
Okay.
It's based on an H.P. Lovecraft story of the same name, which I have the book. I have the book somewhere around here. It's on my other bookcase, but it was intense and a lot of body horror. But I loved it.
Oh wow, that might be worth watching.
It is. It's like the effects are pretty awesome.
Have any of you watched? Was it Lovecraft County or whatever the new HBO show is?
Yeah,
I want to.
Yeah, I watched
so bad.
that. I watched that on Monday actually.
We just my wife and I Ashley, we just watched that last night, and it was really good. I loved the setting. I loved the thing. And Ashley and I always get a good kick, like, oh, this is gonna blow some white people's mind when they get to learn about actual American history. So talking about like the Green Book and stuff like that, and sundown towns was really cool. And then fucking Lovecraft monsters, it was amazing.
I hear they take some liberties with the books, but that it's still good on its own, like as its own.
I haven't read any of the Lovecraft books. I've gone back and forth on where I choose to separate the art from the artist. And most of the time, Lovecraft has fallen in that realm where I do not separate the art and the artist. I've gone back. I'm like, all right, I'm a little more open to Lovecraft. He's dead. He was definitely in a time where just blatant racism was more acceptable. It is not acceptable, but...
I have a hard time separating art from the artist, too, but I was actually referencing the Lovecraft County book.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's based on a book.
It's Matt Ruff.
Okay. I didn't know that. So, I would
just a couple of years ago.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Here's hoping he is not a virulent racist.
Right. If anyone isn't sure about where you should stand on Lovecraft, just fucking Google what his cat was named.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I don't actually know that, and I don't think I want to know.
You don't want to.
You don't want to
You
know.
probably don't.
Yeah.
Just think of what the worst thing you could call a black person is, and that is what he named his cat.
Oh,
I read something the other day on Reddit, and again, Reddit, so who the hell knows, but something about how towards the end of his life, he actually like became a socialist and started to renounce some of that stuff, which would make me feel slightly less shitty about separating the art from the artist, because I'm terrible at that. Like
Pickle Juicy.
Sorry.
That's all right.
ooh.
Brendan, I hadn't heard that. I've read, seen some documentaries on the end of his life here and there. And I haven't heard that. I do know, the name escapes me. The guy who, Conan.
And,
Howard.
Robert E. Howard.
Howard, yeah. I do know that after Lovecraft died of intense intestine cancer, whatever it is, that Howard took a lot of his other material and ended up releasing it for him after death. So, yeah. I don't fucking know.
I mean, I know that. Are you sure it was Howard, or because I'm pretty sure it was Darylith who did that?
Was that? I thought it was Howard.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, no, I think it was Darylith.
Okay.
Yeah, Howard just played with some of the mythos stuff.
Oh,
in his
okay.
work, yeah.
Okay.
Water.
All right. So, Irene, that was your best. We'll move to Jake's best.
I only watched one thing, and it was also the worst.
Oh, well, we'll save that then, because I think we've got a communal story.
Yes, we do.
Dan, what do you got?
I think it was called The Incident, which it was a Mexican kind of thriller movie. It was on Netflix.
Really? I haven't heard of this. Tell me about it.
It was actually really cool. They just pulled it from Netflix, unfortunately, but
Those fuckers.
There's like two parallel stories, and it's these people get into there's like the first one starts with two brothers and like a cop's coming to bust them, and they run down the stairwell and something happens and they're stuck there for years and years and years.
Okay.
And this like looping sort of like time's moving forwards, but this space is looping.
Oh.
So like the vending machine is always full of food. Like, but any waste they produce stays. So like some things are stagnant and some things aren't. And the other one is a family rolling down the highway like on a trip, and they pass this billboard sign, and then they keep on driving. Their daughter has like an asthma attack, and then something happens with that, and then they come up to that billboard again and again and again, and they're stuck on the highway for years.
Okay. There you go.
And it comes together at the end.
That sounds cool. I love, some weird low-grade sci-fi shit like that.
Yeah, it was actually pretty enjoyable, but the payoff was absolutely like red at the end.
Okay. Jeremy?
Well, yeah, I'll be part of the communal bad movie portion later.
Okay.
And I won't say it's necessarily like a best movie, but the movie I've had the most fun with this week is my son and I watched Godzilla versus Megalon.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
just delightful. It's Godzilla versus a giant cockroach, and my son is now completely in love with Jet Jaguar. He just wants...
Oh.
He loves the idea of like having a robot that's your buddy that can just transform into being as giant as Godzilla and then fight the monsters. And he was so excited about it that immediately after we watched the movie, he wanted to play a role-playing game where he could play Jet Jaguar. And just on the spot, we did a pickup session. I was like, yes, you are Jet Jaguar. You and Godzilla are buddies. Let's fight monsters, kid. Let's do it.
Oh, that's fucking fantastic.
So I love that.
That is so great. That's a feel-good story for everyone, man.
Yeah, doesn't Fate have like a good kaiju offshoot?
How could it not? Fate can do everything.
Fate does anything.
It does everything.
But I think there's like an official free one.
That's a great fucking story, Jeremy. That is fucking beautiful.
It made me happy.
Putting my parenting skills to shame right now.
Yeah. I
mean, I'm amazing. I can't help it.
It's true story, bro.
And humble.
And super humble.
You're a very good person.
Very good person. The best person. I would like to. I realized I fucking didn't follow my own instructions. I gave you my worst. I don't like. Listen, my best is either going to be the Vivitch, which is just the witch, but it's Vivitch. It's so great. Black Phillip's amazing. But the best show I've watched here recently would definitely be Doom Patrol. Has anyone else watched Doom Patrol? It's on HBO Max. It is really good. It's like a superhero show done right, where like people aren't blessed by their powers; they're more cursed by their powers. And then also they've got this ongoing kind of like interwoven story about Danny the Street. Danny is a sentient street, and they are the most fucking touching things I have watched in so long. Like, it hits you in the feel so goddamn hard, and you feel so amazing after that. Like, I cannot push Doom Patrol enough. It is so good.
Doom Patrol, that's based off of the DC comic, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm surprised it's not on there.
To Jesse about getting into his HBO.
Yeah, they just dropped season 2 not too long ago, and it is so good. It is really good. But I think that takes us to our worst. So those of you who have a communal experience, would you please enlighten me?
Hellmaster.
Hellmasters.
So,
Jesus.
so
Hellmaster.
what about like Monday, I think? Maybe Tuesday?
Yeah.
I was looking for something to watch on Shudder, and I saw this really weird looking movie, and I was like, I'll put this on, and it was called Hellmaster, and I watched it by myself. And at the end of it, I thought to myself, this is likely the worst movie that I have ever seen in my entire life. And so the first thing I thought to do was to contact the movie Nightmare people and say, we need to watch this movie.
Supper.
And
1,000,000%.
what happened. And they watched it. And now I will hand it over to everybody else to provide their impressions of what I consider to be the worst movie that I've ever
First of
seen.
all, I'd just like to mention that Jen left out the part of the story where it took her 2 sit-downs
It did take me 2
to watch
sittings.
this movie.
Oh wow, it was that bad.
Yes, I had to
pretty
put
hard.
like 16 hours between the beginning of this movie and the end of this movie.
However, the rest of us mainlined it, and let me tell you that the
But you had
opening-
support.
We did. Doing this movie alone is not recommended. Seek advice from a medical professional before you sit down and watch this on your own.
Also, rum. Rum helped me get through it.
Honestly,
Yes.
any sort of alcohol,
Yeah.
mandatory.
Expert.
The very first frame of the movie indicates to you that the human who wrote this thinks they're incredibly intelligent in a way
Thank
that
you.
belies the fact
Oh
that they are
God.
super fucking dumb. The very first frame of the movie is a red background, intimidating with black text, and it says, "God is dead."
It's a Nietzsche quote.
Listen,
And-
if I wanted that shit, I'd watch a Defenders of Cobalt live stream. Fuck that.
Yeah.
We already know God's dead just by
We
watching.
really need to add Nietzsche quotes to the
Like
beginning.
I didn't
and end
even
of our
I didn't even
streams.
see
Yeah.
the beginning of it. I came in late, but this thing was laden with like just references to philosophers,
The
and not even
college
like
was
their
Kant
philosophy.
University.
It's Kant
Yeah.
University.
Kant University.
I
Poe
can't with that.
Hall. Do you remember
Poe
Poe Hall? Poe Hall.
Oh Jesus! Speaking of halls, how many times was
hallway.
a hallway? The hallway you used as a transition.
So many hallways. Love that hallway. Love that hallway. Applause for the hallway. John
Is it the
Saxon
one
is in
hallway
it.
to rule them all?
There were
Saxon.
4 sets.
Yeah.
Poor
So
John
there
Saxon.
was literally a moment where a woman was running away from like the evil. She ran down the hall, and then they had her turn around and they had her run back down the hall, but they thought a cut would make it look like it was a different hallway.
Oh.
It did not look like a
Oh.
different hallway because she went
Yeah.
up the same stairs that How do we get a follow right now? My God.
Who knows? Listen,
Thanks Duolingo
John
Spanish.
Saxon. It was the power of John Saxon.
Yeah.
It's
Then
gotta
there
be.
was
Fucking John Saxon.
the trials of Barb, who
Oh, poor Barb.
really struggled to walk without like leaning against
Like
a wall.
scrubbing against the wall.
Is it 'cause
And then
she was apparently drunk? Or...
Exactly. No, just gravity.
She was lucid.
I
thing.
didn't watch. So I
It
don't
was
know.
a bad case of the Matthew McConaughey's, I think.
Yeah.
She just had to lean against something.
Mm-hmm.
And then when there wasn't a wall, it was the floor. And so she had to go down. She could never really walk by herself. And it was just all too dangerous for her. That was really sad and tragic because she didn't make it. No one really made it.
I just
Thank
assumed she
God.
like
I didn't make
spontaneously mutated and all her bones turned to cartilage. and she just didn't have quite enough internal support.
No support. Yeah.
Yeah, it was an MCC character that was just like inserted into the movie.
All right.
Lots of really interesting decisions with that film.
Interesting.
I
Well,
feel like they just like flipped
Repulsive
the-
is the word I'm looking for.
And then
I didn't
the
see-
fun
I'm
part
just projecting.
with the weapons, where the guy he's got a crossbow
Mhm.
and he's got
geez.
syringes.
the syringes.
Yeah, with the plastic caps on top, and he's just like, "It's the perfect weapon. Here, let me take this revolver and stick it in my pants so I can use the perfect weapon that is the crossbow."
Now, they do show that the crossbow is effective, that when
Sure.
the syringe does pierce someone, it kills the monsters.
It's the acid. That's it.
Yeah, because
Go ahead.
I was going to say, however, later on, they do also shoot the monsters, and that seems equally as effective.
Yes,
So
exactly.
you're kind of left.
Bullets just also work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one.
Irene, you look like you have a question. What is
Go,
your question?
please.
Save us.
Acid in syringes.
Yes.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
the acid doesn't kill you if it mixes with your blood 1st
Mhm.
before it gets to your brain, according to the movie.
Well, that's only if it's diluted, because
it's
if
only
it's
by your blood.
It's
diluted,
diluted
By your
with your
blood.
blood.
With
It's
your
diluted
yeah, and
by your
that
blood.
makes you into a mutant, whatever the fuck those things were.
Yeah.
Yes.
But if
Controlled by
it's mainlined,
John
you just like
Saxon.
melt or something.
Remember there was
Science.
a nun? There was just a nun for some reason.
For
There was like a amped up nun. This sounds like we're talking about disparate parts of the movie.
I know, it's all-
and we're missing the narrative. Like, no, we're not missing the narrative. There just wasn't a narrative. There really
I
Okay.
feel
wasn't.
like I'm looking at Irene. I feel like are we slowly killing your soul?
I think we are. I think we're killing her soul.
No, see, I once woke up at 11 o'clock in the morning, and the first thing I did was watch The Room for the first time.
Oh,
It was on YouTube for
boy.
free.
Mm.
Yes.
So I'm getting
Mm.
serious The Room vibes from this.
The Room has a more
Yeah.
cohesive story than this
It
does.
does.
I've watched The
Wow.
Room
The
multiple
room
times.
is the room
This
is
movie is
much more
significantly worse.
entertaining
Yes,
alone
it is.
than this
It is.
film.
The Room
This-
is a cinematic masterwork compared to this movie.
It's
This
like
movie
Plan
isn't
9.
even funny because it's so bad. It's like you watch it and you're like, why does this guy have a whip? Is this Chekhov's whip that he has? And then it
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
is used and kind of isn't. And why do these billy clubs have axes in them? I'm very confused. And
The
And
local
the love
police
story. The love story.
the
The-
love
yeah.
story.
There's problematic representation in it. Like, it's got everything.
Oh, wow.
It's got everything.
It really
But
does
that-
have
My
everything.
That final image was pretty strong, where for some reason the hand sneaks up and grabs a ring. I don't know. Yeah.
It literally crawls towards the
It's really
yes.
weird.
the antagonist's hand. There's an after credit scene like they were trying to build a cinematic universe that made no sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Of course.
true.
Of course.
So what I'm hearing here is that here at Defenders of Cobalt, one of the projects we need to add to our list is the worst possible movie script ever.
We can't. Why bother
I'm
going
in,
up against
in.
the master? Why? Like, it's been made, Chuck.
We
It's
can
been made.
Well,
we
here's
can
the-
do better
I've
slash
seen
worst.
worse movies than Hellmaster.
Oh,
absolutely.
okay.
Yeah.
I feel bad.
Example.
Anything by Neil Breen.
Neil Breen's a fucking gem. You take that back.
Example.
Uh,
Give me an example.
No, Tommy Wiseau is a gem.
Oh.
I don't even know what the hell Neil Breen is. He's
Neil
a-
Breen is a visionary and an auteur.
Listen,
okay?
on Monday, the two of you can meet face to face and fight this out,
Yes,
and maybe
that's right.
kiss. I don't know yet.
Well, that's how it ends.
Oh, I'm gonna
shit,
watch
I gave
all
it
of
away.
these.
Sorry.
Oh, you
I'm
ruined
gonna
the
watch
ending,
all of
Jake.
these.
Neil Breen's amazing, and we have to.
Oh my
Wait,
god.
fight
I
or
would
kiss?
recommend
That's,
Alcohol and Company for a Neil Breen movie.
That's
There
a
are
good. That's a good
6
entryway.
movies.
Yeah.
I just in
There are
general
6
have
movies.
like
One of them
a
is a documentary.
Neil Breen
hatred
has
of
to be
Uwe
with
Boll.
Yeah.
us.
I
Oh,
get
Uwe
that.
Boll.
yeah, Uwe Boll.
I hate him, but still, I would consider his movies more entertaining than Neil Breen.
Oh my.
Fair.
God.
Yeah. Oh man, Neil Breen is special.
I don't know any of these. I just love the conflict.
What's
Red
great
Letter-
is
I
that
know, I'm kind
I
of-
can't remember which movie it is of his, but
Computer
it's like
scientist novelist reunites with his childhood friend, hacks into a government databases, and faces the dire and fateful consequences of the mystical actions he obtained as a child.
Yeah,
that doesn't
you-
even make sense.
Yep.
That doesn't even make
Wow.
sense.
No, that's Neil Breen doesn't make sense. Those movies are acid trips and need
What's
to be
great
witnessed.
is that as a child he got that mystical rock with that kid who was his age, and then he
Mm-hmm.
later meets up with that kid as a woman,
Yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
he is so much older than she is.
Yeah.
It's-
Mhm.
Identical twin brothers become hybrid artificial
Oh,
intelligent
that
entities
one's my
get torn in
favorite.
different directions
Okay, I
to
will
achieve
say-
justice for humanity.
That's
yeah,
my
I will
favorite.
say Neil Breen with a green screen is just fucking great.
And
It's
it's-
RoBroCop.
It's
It's RoboCop.
A
Yeah.
messianic
Oh,
entity from the
Robocop.
future travels to modern day Earth to wipe out 300 million bad people and usher in a new era of peace.
Okay, I will say that one's definitely much more watchable
yes.
than Hellmaster.
Well, I mean,
okay.
Neil
It's
Breen
so
has to
great.
be with
He's
us.
just like, I hate the government. I hate the corrupt businesses. They're all corrupt. I hate the drug dealers and the criminals at the top. And then he just like disappears half the human race because Neil
Yeah.
Breen is
Mhm.
he's robot Jesus.
That's the thing. His solution for humanity is to kill 300 million people.
And he like shows he's got
Fucking
he
Thanos?
uses stock footage in all of his
Mhm.
movies, and in this one he shows like stock footage of dolphins swimming because it's like, you know, he's showing the beauty of nature and all these different shots. And in this one he just chooses to follow these dolphins from behind as one of them just shits right at the camera. And it's glorious. Like
Disappointed by its creation, the almighty being that created man arrives on Earth in a human form and interacts with various troubled, wicked, and sinful people on his journey to Vegas.
Yep. He's not only
To
Mary
Vegas.
suing himself, he's Messiah suing himself.
yeah. All of his movies take place in Vegas
Because he
Yeah.
lives there.
He lives there,
Yeah,
yeah.
That's my
What's-
guess.
I
He
can't
does.
remember which one it is, but in one of his movies, he like starts listing off all the the different companies that
Mhm.
helped. It's like catering
Yeah.
was done by this company, lighting was done by this company, editing was done by this company, and then at the very end it says all companies with the initials NB in their names were actually Neil Breen, and I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ!
What?
He's insane. He's genuinely insane.
A brilliant computer loner seizes Las Vegas in its terrorist attack while fighting against his fits of clinical depression and obsession for romance and death. That's the one I'm watching first.
Where are you?
It has the lowest score
Where
on
are
IMDb.
You have to watch that with us because it needs to be witnessed by everybody. Well, you don't have to, but I'm saying it would be fun
No,
to.
I will.
All right,
I
here's
will.
a hard question. Neil Breen or anything Tromaville?
fucking
Oh,
love
Tromaville.
Tromaville.
Tromaville's
Tromaville?
great.
I love Tromaville.
Okay.
The Troma
Yeah.
movies are fantastic.
Mhm.
I mean,
Neil Breen
that's how we
is
get
not-
Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's true. Okay, yeah. All right, I've derailed the conversation.
That's okay.
Have you though?
No.
People who haven't had this shared experience. Irene, what was your worst?
So
gross.
last night, my roommate and I, we watched this movie called Mythica: Quest for Heroes.
I've watched some of those before.
Yeah.
There's a whole slew of them on Amazon Prime Video.
Yeah, this is on Tubi.
Yeah.
So there are I think there's like 5 or 6 of them.
Yeah, there's quite a few.
Two of them came out. So the first and the second one came out in the same year. Both came out in 2013. One came out in 2015, and then 2 more came out in 2016. And like we watched the first one. That's the A Quest for Heroes, and it's basically like the best way, the most generous way I can describe it is it's a D&D party getting together for their first quest. And like that's not a bad concept in itself because I love the old Dungeons and Dragons movie. Like I grew up watching that
Right.
several times. But Mythica, there were so many editing choices that like I didn't understand. Like there's one point where the fighter, like he's killing people, and like I think it's after the mage frees him from the gibbet, and like it cuts to like him stabbing the guy and then like standing up and then doing this weird echo thing where he's standing up again. I don't know how to. I don't know. It was just. I spent like 15 minutes after the conclusion of
He
this
get knocked
movie.
down, but he got up again.
No. It was an echo effect. So like he was stabbing the guy again, and I spent like 15 minutes after the conclusion of this movie just going, "What did I just watch?" to my roommate, and we're gonna watch the next one next week. So that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, that's got Kevin Sorbo is like
Wow.
recurring in that.
Oh, that's who that was.
Which
my.
is enough of a reason to not watch it. But yeah, and like he's barely in it. He's just like he basically is like their Gandalf, and he just pops in.
Yeah, he was in there for like one scene in the beginning, and I was like, "Who is
Let
that?"
me
He
remind
does
you
that.
of Hercules and the fucking right wing.
Yeah. Now that I know that, I'm gonna let my roommate know who that was, and we're gonna have to figure out if we're gonna keep watching these movies.
Yeah.
So
Fucking
then like
Kevin
like-
Sorbo and Dean Cain. Like, what the fuck happened?
yeah.
Anyway, I'm sorry, I cut you off, Jeff.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, and then like if you're like D&D fans, like Matt Mercer is in it. Like I think starting with the second one, he plays like some sort of like necromancer villain type. I only watched the first 3. There's 5. But yeah, he's in it.
Okay.
So I think they definitely leaned into the whole like it's D&D, like you said, like it's a D&D adventure thing. So
You brought it up, Jeff, so I do have to put it out there. Fuck Critical Role. Oh, did I say that? I'm sorry.
What?
What? I didn't say fuck Critical Role.
what?
I
You know,
enjoy
Chuck.
all of the
You know
people
Chuck.
on there. I think all the people on there are great.
Okay.
I don't have anything against the people on there, but I just think that Critical Role it is great for all TTRPGs. It's great for all of our communities.
Rising Tide.
Rising Tide.
Rising Tide floats all the boats. Critical Role is amazing for that. Critical Role, like the most complaints I have gotten from watchers as a GM is we don't do it like Critical Role. Until I joined DCC stuff, and then DCC stuff is just like you're fat and ugly and I hate you. I'm like, I'll accept that. Okay, like I don't have any complaints
Right,
against
but I'm
that.
not like Matt Mercer, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Stop comparing
Anyway,
us.
I derailed it.
I think that's less of a Critical Role issue and more of a audience expectation issue.
Okay,
Yeah, I agree.
that's fair.
Oh, yeah.
That's
So-
fair.
Not their
So listen,
fault,
Every fan
I-
base sucks. Let's.
Yeah.
Individuals are fine. People as a whole
Are
often
fucking trash
Yeah.
boats.
We talked
problematic.
about this. We talked about this briefly. Is that when I lived in LA, I was friends with those guys, and they started very small. They started because they loved that stuff, and then they
Right.
got sucked up very quickly by Nerdist people.
Yeah.
And in that kind of content, like that production value is what they put into it. So it's as long as you're not trash talking the people, because I love them.
I don't have anything against the
And
people.
Marisha and Matt are
I
friends
think
of
Jeff
mine,
summed
so-
it up best. It's audience expectations.
Yeah.
Or not Matt. I'm sorry, Jeff. Whoever the fuck said that?
Somebody.
They've
I've
put
had
a bar.
A lot of vodka and peach flavored margarita. So
They made a bar that everyone else is
Yeah.
held to unfairly, and that's
it's not even that Critical
have a ton
Role
of-
made the
yeah.
bar. It's that the people think that everyone who produces content in this field needs to.
should be like that.
all
Yeah.
voice actors, all people who are in the business, like
Yeah.
the level of talent that's in that group is very,
Unreal.
very, very high.
Listen,
it's very
yeah.
high.
I will say things like I enjoy seeing things they do. Like they seem very fun, nice people. Like I don't want to
Yeah.
put down the people in it, but yeah, it's very much audience expectations. Like
And I also want to point out that I do actually think Matt Mercer is the best part of movies 2 and 3, like of the Mythica.
He's really
oh
fun.
yeah,
I do- like it's just I almost feel bad that he's in it. Like you're better than that. But whatever.
all
His
right,
voice acting is so good. All the voice acting he's
Yeah.
ever done is
Oh,
so
man.
good.
yeah.
Yeah.
God.
McCree
I
deserves
could
better. than
barely
those
put
films.
together a consistent Russian voice.
Dude,
tonight.
I feel you. Like that is not my forte. My forte is just
that was
being
bad.
fucking like a little bit nuts, and that's it.
Yeah, like that same thing here, Chuck. Like when I'm doing a voice for like one of my NPCs, it's usually like it's either like really low and gravelly, or it's just my normal voice.
I can
But,
do
like-
Russian and I can do Southern Gentleman, but I gotta tell you, after an hour they merge together,
Yeah.
and it is Southern Comrade.
You know who's really good? Is
Yeah.
Jen doing Jeff. That's
Let's hear
just
it.
some real
Let's
good
hear
stuff.
it.
Again. Let's go ahead and hear that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I am Big
I am
Pharma.
Pharma. I am Big Pharma. I am Big
just-
Pharma. There's that. There's also yes, I am Brother Vernon. I am here to talk about my
Vernon.
Brother
That's
Vernon
my
is
name.
here
How
to
dare
talk
you?
Let's talk about my dog Joseph. Have you met him?
Joseph.
Jeremy would like to eat him.
Oh my gosh, not
I'm
Silas.
so happy.
I just need to I need to hear Jeff, and then I can pretty much go right
Yeah.
into it. Any voice that Jeff
That's
does,
great.
I can just slide.
Have you done this one yet?
Have you done?
I was gonna
Listen,
do that one, but
I was standing over a crate of chickens and a dead. Well, I'm not gonna go
I
into
tried
that.
to do that a little bit when I know I did. I'm sorry, I did the I'm gonna put my hair in you. Like that was like my Australian accent.
Oh, that's right, Irene. You've been watching all that.
I'm gonna put my hair in you.
Battle Group Valkyrie, we have a no context posting channel, and I've been sending little clips of that.
Oh, yeah?
like little quotes. Yeah, and a lot of the reactions have been something.
It's been something. Okay.
Like that one.
There have been
Was
reactions.
like, oh my goodness, what are you talking about, Irene?
Just watch Defenders of Cobalt. That's all it is.
Yeah. We're good people.
We're great people.
You're the best people.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that, but we're entertaining. I will say that. Oh my gosh. Dan, did you
We're
give us a
entertaining,
worst
we're not
yet?
banned yet. I didn't, and regretfully, I haven't had time to watch. I haven't had time to basically exist this week. So I watched that one movie, and that's basically it.
Is that movie and porn? Like, what else is there?
What?
I was just trying to see what I could get Dan to say on that. I'm sorry.
I watched the one movie, and it was a good movie.
So speaking of
All right,
that,
so let's talk about the worst porn. we
let's
saw.
talk about Bad Dragon.
Oh no! Don't talk about the dragon.
No!
What's
No!
great is
It was
pre
such a bad
Zweihander, we accidentally introduced Jen to Bad Dragon. She's like, "What is this?"
I can't believe you're talking about it like everybody knows about it. Like,
Wait,
I
what's
don't-
Bad Dragon?
Thank you, Jeremy.
Oh,
Thank
Google it. Wait, no. Now we get to watch Jeremy's reaction
Open
as he
a private
Googles.
tab, Jeremy.
Open a
it in
tab.
private
Go to
tab.
Jeremy, don't do it.
incognito.
Private chat.
Just search
Don't do it on a
Bad
work
Dragon.
computer.
Do it on a
Don't
work computer.
do it
Just
on a
don't
work
do it on a
computer.
work
Dare those
Don't do it on a work
fuckers.
computer.
Why don't
Got
do it
my
on a work
print
computer?
screen
It's a
ready
legit-
for a
Your
new
boss is going
background.
to come in. You're like, "Are you going to kink
we
shame
go.
me for this dragon dong?" Look at Jeremy's face.
Jeremy, there is a subreddit that you also need to investigate.
Oh no,
Dang.
not the Baron. Oh god.
All right.
Oh shit. Oh my god.
I don't understand why you think it's bad to have this on
It
your
looks like
computer.
flesh, but it was.
Oh, there is.
Did you see the unicorn one?
Reddit.com/r/bad
Did you see the
dragon.
unicorn one? The unicorn one's pretty important, I think, to the
It
world.
just looked like a slab of meat. had become
Whoa. Oh my gosh, I was
So
not prepared
bad.
for images.
Oh my god.
What do you mean you weren't prepared for images?
I
think
went
is
to
on
the
the
bad.
subreddit? Poetry?
What?
The subreddit?
What?
This is
I'm
where
gonna mute that
know.
tab.
I'm a surprisingly sheltered man.
Whoa, that is action shots,
Yeah.
dear lord.
Chuck, what did you think it was? Fucking sonnets?
I don't know. Oh, that one glows in the dark. I am honestly okay. Going through immediately on this subreddit.
3 to 4-ish people who are in chat right now who may or may not be us. What we're talking about is a website that caters to a type of kink that I knew it existed. I just didn't know that it was this prevalent. And,
It is dragon dong dildos and tentacle dildos.
Yep.
that is accurate. That is accurate. No
Equine
kink
and
shit.
Ursine. And
Oh
No,
my-
we're not gonna.
Whoa.
We're not okay with that. We're not okay with the
I'm
actual
saying it's
animal
on
ones.
there. I'm saying it's on there. I'm not saying I'm
The
into that.
mythical.
Oh my
I think low key we should get a sponsorship from them.
Bad Dragon,
low-key,
you
we
should
get a
sponsor us.
sponsorship from them.
I said earlier, Bad Dragonborn. It could be
Save
stuff
for
like-
posterity, Mel.
All right, okay. Listen, I'm not going to say I had expectations when I went to the subreddit. I'm just going to say that there was scrolling down. There's a lot of action shots, right? And
there's a lot of videos.
They were surprisingly. There was a lot of vaginas, and I was not expecting that.
I will say one of these videos has shown me the prettiest butt plug I've ever seen in my entire life.
Oh my gosh.
It looks like if Sailor Moon had a butt plug is really how I describe it.
It's like a Care Bear stare, except you're staring into this.
Are you watching the same video that
I don't know what I'm watching. They sell stickers. I'm ordering everyone Bad Dragon stickers.
Oh no.
No, you know what you need to do? You need to get a grip of those and just put them on friends' cars without them knowing.
That's like the right thing to do.
The new truck nuts.
Are we violating terms of service?
I am sure we are.
My God.
We're not showing anything. We're just doing reactions of this fucking train wreck.
Discussing.
Oh God
We're
damn it!
Disgusting is what we are.
Fucking Jeff.
Oh yeah, that actually. Sorry, wrong word.
Oh man, I was
all right. Let's save this conversation. We're gonna go.
Saving.
Let's put a butt plug in this conversation.
Oh.
Save it for later.
Save it for later.
Can always count on you.
All right, so I
God.
did pick out an item for us to talk about in the GM discussion category, but that was building community with TTRPGs. And listen, it's not today. Jen and Frienden can definitely answer why that is, but we're not going to go into that. So let's roll another D30.
Sure.
That's a 19. What is a 19? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
He's going to make it. He can do it.
Oh, paths
He's
to
almost there.
TTRPGs. What do we talk about there?
I know that. I think that was my suggestion.
So what do you mean? Like,
How did you end up playing tabletop RPGs? Like how did you end up getting into it?
I can
your
answer.
origin story.
Yeah, let's do our origin story. So we're going to start in the same order.
Chuck's
Frienden.
So for me, I lived in rural Illinois for about 10 years between the age of about 20 to 30, and I was bored as shit in an area with a town of 750 people and one neighbor for 10 square miles. So there was no opportunity to play them, but there was an opportunity to collect them. So I spent about 10 years getting books before I even had a chance to play. And then I moved to Austin, Texas. I joined a local group. I played 5e, which was not my choice. I had a ton of DCC stuff, but could not find a group to play it. And I ended up playing a lot of narrative stuff like Fiasco and Powered by the Apocalypse and stuff like that, which I really enjoyed. And 5e was fine. It was kind of like a good starter RPG for somebody like me that had long had books. Like I've got, Moldvay's Basic. I've got, the kind of OSR stuff one would expect to have. My drive-through RPG library is bigger than my Steam, etc., but I never had a chance to play. And it wasn't until I found this motley crew of Bad Dragon browsing motherfuckers that I had a chance to finally play the systems I was interested in, like DCC, and it's been fantastic. So my entry point was long delayed, oft sought, and finally here.
Okay.
It just goes to show you
mistakes
there's
were
hope
made.
for everyone.
Are you telling me that when was the first time you played a tabletop RPG?
I probably like 2 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
2.5, maybe 3. I don't know. What is
Wow.
time? But
Wow,
yeah.
you're a baby.
Yeah.
Little baby man.
Little baby
Oh my gosh.
man. Little baby man playing TTRPGs for first time. Oh.
So
Treat me gentle.
I can give mine, which is also kind of the origin story of Defenders of Cobalt. I grew up playing and loving the Sega Genesis Shadowrun game.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great game. I decided one day, like, it was, 10-ish or so years ago. My youngest had just been born. I was sitting around the house. I'm like, you know what? I was playing that Sega Shadowrun game on whatever fucking, probably my phone or some shit. I know there's fucking books about this. Let's go down to our local Hastings. Hastings is out of business now.
Rest in peace, Hastings.
Yep. And I want to buy a fucking book. So We all load up. We all go down there. They don't have any Shadowrun games, but what they do have is a starter set for D&D 4th edition. So I brought it home. I kind of read it. I made my wife Ashley kind of go through the character creation with me. I'm like, all right, this is it. And then I called all my friends. I'm like, you fuckers show up this day, this time. We're playing Dungeons and Dragons. And that was it, right? Not too exciting, but you know. That's kind of the secret for everything the Defenders of Cobalt gets into. I decide I like it, and I make them all play it.
Excellent.
Yeah. All right, Jen.
So my introduction is it's like a 2-part story. So when I have a brother who's 8 years older than me, and he was really into Dungeons and Dragons when he was in high school, and so we're talking like he was 16 when he played, so I was probably like 7 or 8 years old. So we're talking like 1991, 1992. And he would play with his friends, and I would hang out around the dining room table and like basically cause havoc and run around the table and annoy him and his friends and like tease them about watching Robotech and stuff like that, and you know, get in my brother's hair. But ultimately I was interested in it. Interesting story, later on in life, one of his friends, who's named Rick, who sat at that table, would later become my friend because we were old enough and it wasn't weird. And we would play Dungeons and Dragons together later on in life. So 1991, 1992, I get my first exposure to this. And then it wasn't until I didn't play my first game until I was in 8th grade. No, the summer before 8th grade. So it was between 7th grade and 8th grade. So 1997 and 1998. The way that, and this might sound sexist, I don't know, Irene, you can check me on this too, is like, you know, I had a boyfriend who
how sexist of you.
I know, well, no, a boyfriend got me into playing. And I think I told this story to Ray. I was like, I really wanted to impress this guy. I thought he was super cute, and he totally wasn't. He was like, want to see my Warhammer minifigs in the basement? And I was like, yeah, I do. And then like, I'm like 7th grade, like 13 years old. I'm like, yeah, let's do this. And he's like also 13 years old, no game whatsoever, showing me his Warhammer figs. And he was like, he pretended to like fake kiss me in the basement, and then was like, let's go over to my friend Cowden's place and let's play some D&D. And that was literally how I got into it. Was from there on out, it was, I think my parents were so not threatened by the boys that played Dungeons and Dragons that like I would hang out with them until like 2:00 in the morning, and my parents would come and pick me up super late from his friend's house, and we would there were like 4 of us, and we would all play every weekend for like until he and I broke up. So it was about 9 months, because that's how long relationships last when you're that young. And so from then on, I had always like had like, you know, I kept in touch with the scene, and you know, it took 3 more years or so before I played again, and then I just kind of I was always 3.5. 3.5 was my system for a very, very long time. I didn't play Pathfinder until about 3 years ago. I think Pathfinder was my first experience. Oh no, I played Pathfinder, I played Kingmaker, I played Edge of the Empire, and then I thought that was all there was. And then, you know, I happened upon you all and realized there's this whole other trove of TTRPGs that exist. And I'm like, I know, it was like
new mistakes to be made.
It was like running toward all the TTRPGs in a field, and they're also running toward me. And then we like meet in the middle and we embrace, and there are flowers everywhere.
So romantic.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been playing for a really long time because I'm old. I'm really old. I'm not old as shit yet. I will
She's
be
older
in October.
than me, and that's what counts.
So yeah, that's how I ended up playing.
I'm old as shit.
TTRPGs.
I'm old as shit too.
I'm on my way.
Don't worry, on the inside, I'm ancient.
I do want to, your sexist comment, your horribly disgusting sexist comment there.
We'll have to bleep that out, all of it.
I will say, somebody shows me their Game Workshop collection, I'm in.
Okay.
I don't want to assume that all women made their way to TTRPGs because of somebody they were with, and
that is true. Yeah.
It's how I found my way to it was through that in like the 90s when Spice Girls were very popular.
And rightly so.
I've had a few people play with me who I kind of, pretty good regular players. They aren't with Defenders of Cobalt now, but they were in the past. I did, because, I don't know. Maybe I'm weird in the way I handle relationships, but, if there's something I'm into, I try to share it with the other person. And so I had recruited players at time because they're, this one person's going to play and they're like, oh, but I need to spend time with my, other, my partner, wherever they're at in their relationship. I'm like, well, just fucking bring them along and they can play too. And so there was a few people that I got to play games with us for a decent amount of time where it was, I want to play, but like, I'm just going to pull an example. Like, my girlfriend wants to spend time with me. I'm like, why don't you invite your girlfriend? Like, you're having fun with this. They'll have fun with this.
Play.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Like, I don't think that there's anything wrong with introducing people who are like your significant other or friend or your friend's significant other to the hobby.
Yeah.
Like that's how you get new people to play. Like,
right.
That didn't happen with me. But, I've definitely tried to get people into the game.
Yeah.
Who are friends or partners.
Yeah. I don't know. My thought was, like, this game should be fun or it is fun for everyone. So, like, why the fuck aren't you just inviting them to come hang out and have a good time?
Yeah.
Yeah, join the cult, one of us.
Join the cult. There's only a little bit of bloodletting.
We will tell you who you can date and when.
They call it disposable income for a reason.
The good part is I have had some people where, like, I introduced, like, person A was going to come play, and, like, it was a thing like, well, just bring your other person with you. Mm-hmm. It's all Gucci, and then they end up breaking up, and it's the other person that stays, and the original person.
That should be a topic we talk about at some point.
Oh, okay.
When games were wrecked by people becoming exes.
Right. Once I make friends with a person, I'm just like, if you two are in a relationship, like, that's your fucking business. You're both my friend now. So if you break up, I don't give a shit. I'm still going to be a friend with the other person. So if you're both in the same D&D game and you break up, you either need to be responsible and respectable at the table, or one of you has to fuck off. And usually I just spawn off another game so the other one can play too. All right. So Jen, that was your intro. Jeff, what do you got?
I don't know. Mine's like, I've dabbled in a lot for a while. Like, I think my very first introduction to RPGs is probably 2nd edition Dungeons and Dragons and Hero Quest at like the same time.
Yeah.
I think in like back-to-back like presents or something, because we had a Christmas present was one of them, and then like a month later, because I have a birthday in January, and so like back-to-back I would get a lot of stuff, and so like one month I got like Hero Quest, and the next month I got like Dungeons and Dragons 2nd edition, and I never played that book at all, but my friend and I, what we would do is we would play like Hero Quest, and then we stopped playing Hero Quest and just started making Dungeons and Dragons characters and just attacking each other with them on the Hero Quest board and using the Hero Quest minis and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So we did that for a while, and then I think the first time I ever really played a role-playing game, like an actual role-playing game, was a game of Vampire in high school, and that was just weird at the time.
Okay.
And
What made it weird, Jeff?
I mean, I'd never really okay, so I took some like improv theater stuff a while, and so like there were some people who were like gothy type, and I was like, okay, role-playing games, I know Dungeons and Dragons because I have that book, and I was like, and then but we got there and it was just like everyone was like really getting like into the acting aspect of it and stuff like that, so I'm like, oh, this is not at all what I thought it was, but we didn't stick with it, like none of us did. We just did it just on a lark. And then like in college I did the same thing. I played like maybe 1 or 2 games with like a couple friends, and then I didn't do anything with it until just a couple of years ago when I got addicted to board games, and then I played Fiasco, and that pretty much did it. Like Fiasco came around, and so like there's like a good 5 or 6 years in between like each time I dabbled, and there's like a 20-year gap, and then or 15-year gap or so, and then finally we played Fiasco, and then Fiasco led to like End of the World from like Fantasy Flight Games, which was a lot of fun, and that was like the first time like we anyone DM'd, and then that eventually was like, fuck it, let's just do D&D, and so we played D&D and like 5th edition for the first time, and then that's and like pretty much everything's caught up at this point. So like I really only consider like I've really only been playing RPGs for like maybe 4 or 5 years now, I would say. Like even though I got that AD&D book and I still have it on the shelf,
Nice.
like so long ago, like we never really played it. And
We're in similar boats there because Fiasco was one of my introductions too, and I had Hero Quest as well, and I loved that board game as a kid, but I never had anybody to play it with. I would just take the miniatures out and play with them like they were G.I. Joes or something, and so I've always been adjacent and hovering around on the outside of the scene, and it wasn't until recently when like 5th Ed just, again, the rising tide lifts all boats thing, like a whole lot more people were into it. I could finally find games, and then I started to be able to find games in the systems that actually interested me. So
like the group we started with, we played video games together. We played lots of stuff. We played Left 4 Dead games. We played World of Warcraft. We played League of Legends. We played lots of different games, and then then we live relatively close to one another, and like we had a couple times when like we had people visiting that were friends from that we knew online, and they were coming and visiting, and so like we had game days, and that's when the physical games started happening, and then eventually that just evolved. But like Fiasco, I definitely saw Fiasco on Will Wheaton's show, Tabletop, and like I was like, that looks fun, let's do that, and we did that. And it was really, really fun, and I got to drown one of my friends, and it was great.
Nice.
And then I got to exorcise one of our players, Ashley, from a demon, and scare the shit out of everybody because we were really loud about it. So I'm like, just the natural next step was to suddenly start playing more robust, more mechanical games. So yeah, tons of fun.
Jeff, you would say that playing Fiasco caused a fiasco.
Oh.
Yes.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yes.
There you go.
It definitely did.
So,
and, 187 Kickstarters later, I have a very big shelf full of board games and role-playing game books.
Jeff wins all the Kickstarters.
I want to like deep fake Jeff into a movie poster of like Firestarter, but it just says Kickstarter at the top. And
oh my gosh,
Barrymore.
Don't do this.
Oh,
I mean, like that's hilarious. I'm like, don't be me. Don't do this. Don't Kickstarter ruins.
This is your brain. This is your brain on Kickstarter.
I'm doing better.
There you go.
I've had to cut back.
Talking about Kickstarters, like we're just rocking off. My wife and 2 kids and I. We're just rocking off my income, and I don't make a shitload of money. I don't make a lot. Ashley's, she stays. Hey, Lich, thanks for that raid.
Woo, Lich.
There we go.
All right.
But yeah, so, Ashley, my youngest has special needs, so she stays at home with him. I've completely forgot my train of thought. What were you talking about, Jeff?
Kickstarter.
Oh, so yeah. So the way we do it is we each get our little allowance of like spending like pocket money every fucking payday. And I fucking today was payday. I had my little bit of cash, and I'm like, all right, what am I gonna buy? Like, maybe I should check Kickstarter. I'm like, shit, all of my fucking money is already spent because all of these Kickstarters are gonna launch this fucking pay period. Like, god damn it, I don't have any money. Yeah. All right, Irene. So, how did you get your start?
Well, like I mentioned earlier, I started watching the D&D movie as a kid.
Yeah.
But I never much like Brendan, I never actually got into playing it until much later. Specifically, it was high school. My pre-calc teacher, when I was in 12th grade, he ran a tabletop after-school club, I guess we want to call it that. And we played D6 Adventures. That was the very first tabletop game I had actually played.
I think he's talking about this.
What are we talking about?
Over 100. Maybe.
I have no idea.
Over 100 copies of Dan.
No,
No, he's talking about over 100
Kickstarters.
Kickstarters.
Mhm.
Oh,
Over
yeah,
100
yeah.
Kickstarters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just trying to construe it, but nobody went with me, so.
That's all right.
Wait a minute,
Anyway.
we sold more than 100 copies?
Yeah, we're now silver best-selling on Dan Dies at the end.
I tried.
yeah.
There we go.
Nobody got on the boat with me.
That's fine. All right. Anyway, Irene, sorry.
No, you're fine. Yes, it was D6 Adventures. And one of the players there, he had another GM who was trying to put together a 3.5 table, and so that's what I started doing was 3.5, which I liked it for the most part, but then I met Pathfinder and fell in love with Pathfinder, and in fact Pathfinder is my preferred system. Because for me, it's a lot. It has the nuance of 3.5. I say nuance. Really, what I mean is the bloat, but without fractions. And that's the most important part because I hate fractions.
I don't math, so yeah.
And so that's basically I've been playing tabletop role-playing games on and off then now for the past 8 years. Zweihander is my recent one that I've been playing a lot of. And by playing a lot of, I mean I'm reading a lot of it.
Yeah. Well, the scheduling on Defenders of Kobolds on our Wednesday night is going to change here soon. Mainly, I need some more free time, so I'm looking at, how can I run more one-offs rather than, campaigns. So, who knows? Maybe we'll see more Zweihander mini campaigns cropping up here and there, and we can get some more people into it, so you can get some more seat time on some Zweihander goodness.
That would be great.
Yeah. All right, Jake, I think I know yours, but you always surprise me.
No, I played like one round of D&D with Matt from Lawrence once.
Okay.
And then after that, it was we played a lot of Magic the Gathering, and then eventually went on to tabletop role-playing games.
I do want to point out that I'm still the reigning Goblin King.
Fuck you.
So yeah, when we were playing, the DOK crew, when we were playing Magic the Gathering back way in the day,
Before the DOK eventually formed.
Yeah, Jake had this fucking Goblin deck. Like the rest of us kind of fiddled around.
Pain in the ass.
It was a fuck you Goblin deck. So as we played more, I figured out what I was doing, and I figured out how to make a Goblin deck specifically to defeat Jake's Goblin deck.
You out-goblined the Goblin deck?
So every single time we would get together.
They made decks specifically to negate mine.
Yeah.
Nice.
Every time we would get together, we would play. Jake and I would go head to head to figure out who got to be the Goblin King that week. And so last time we played, I won because I started winning every time because I just made a deck for no other purpose than to beat Jake's deck.
Yeah. He got real good at pinpointing all my little shithead shenanigans.
Yeah.
Basically, it was take the weeniest, fastest goblins I could find, give them death touch, set them loose.
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
Murder.
It's like, wow, that's a great creature you just summoned. 1313. Too bad it's dead.
Yeah.
Put that right
You
in
would
your
be the
graveyard.
bane of a good green deck right there.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. No green deck could stand up to me.
No. All right, Dan. How'd you get your start?
Honestly, for me, it kind of goes back to my dad was in it.
Oh yeah, you got still the original books in your basement.
Mhm.
I do.
Yeah.
I went and liberated them from my parents' basement without telling them. So they're well worn AD&D books. I stole them.
Nice.
It's true. They used to come and play in my basement. My dad, my uncles, and some of them. So that's kind of how I got into it. I didn't actually really play until I was older, and it didn't actually happen for very long. My dad ran a couple games for me and my brother, but it was just, two of us and him, and we kind of sucked at it. So, and then a while passed, and I met Chuck, and I was one of those people that was like, "Come on over," and I said, "Yeah."
There you go.
Sure.
All right, Jeremy.
I kind of have like a two-parter. It's sort of like how I got introduced to it and what got me to start playing are sort of different things.
Yeah.
I was initially kind of caught off guard with it because like I come from a like super like military family. Like almost all the dudes in my family are like very straight-laced, hardcore military.
Right.
And my dad is just this very like monotone, serious man. He very rarely shows any emotion whatsoever. But there was one day I was cleaning out one of the closets and I found like some old like old school D&D stuff and like some character sheets. I'm like, Dad, who is Gwydion Forrester? What does this mean? Oh, well, you see, my friends and I used to sometimes get together and we would listen to Uriah Heep and we would then, get a party together and we'd go on adventures. And I was like, what? And then at that point, it was like this whole, like, my mind was blown. And like, he's like, he would show me, like, he had this like amazing collection of like pulp books of like Michael Moorcock and Howard and stuff.
Wow.
Like, who are you?
Oh, wow.
What happened to like this like super like uptight man? Why did you hide this from me? So that's like how I got introduced to it, but I didn't initially play it at all because again, like didn't really have anybody to play with. And then I kind of forgot about it for a little while. And then what actually got me to play it eventually was I was a little bit of an awkward kid. I had a little bit of a stutter, and I also did spoonerisms. Like, for example, you would say like taper Powell instead of paper towel. And my buddy Ryan was like, well, what you should do is just, play a paladin and just pretend that you're talking like your paladin and just do that. And so I would role play and pretend to talk like somebody who was confident and knew what they were doing. And eventually I would just practice that bullshit long enough and then carry it over into real life. And like it initially started from me just like training myself how to talk normally.
Oh, wow. That's super cool, man. Like,
That's kind of cool. Yeah.
yeah. I dig that. That's super cool. So we made it through where we all got our start. I do want to know, before I started in 4th edition, I played once before. I don't know what version it was. It was me and this friend's older cousin from Seattle who came down to visit. And we just smoked a shitload of pot. And he's like, you're going to play D&D. I'm like, okay. I don't know what happened. Like, but yeah, I guess that was my first.
Did you even play D&D?
I don't know.
Become D&D.
Yeah. But I will say, we're hitting 2 a.m. here, so I think it might be time for us to sign off on our Talk Crit Get Hit.
It's late.
It's super late.
It's like midnight over here.
It's just past midnight for me too. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just past midnight for me too.
So what I'm hearing is we're going to be watching a movie.
It's 3 a.m. where I am right now.
Oh my gosh.
Man.
You're in the
But only a little after
maybe.
3 a.m. Only a little after 3 a.m.
Only a little.
Just tiny.
I'm full of
Tiny bit.
alcohol and coke, so
Wire for
Oh.
sound.
I'm sorry, what?
What?
Sorry, what?
ahead.
Share with the
Sorry,
class.
I'm sorry, what?
Full of cocaine.
Coca-Cola.
What's
Oh, cocaine.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
All right. Just like, Gunner, what are you doing?
Oh,
Terms of service.
yeah.
All right.
We do not endorse the usage of narcotics on this channel.
Yeah.
So now time for our sign-off. Start fires, do drugs.
Yeah, that's it. All right, all of you, thanks for hanging out. This is fun. I enjoy getting to chat. Everyone who watched, thanks for hanging out. We got a decent number of people out there. Be sure to follow, subscribe, check out our zine. Dan Dies at the End. It's on sale still for 50 cents. Dan's holding up a copy of it.
And it looks stupid.
It's super cool. Print on demand is coming soon. We
I know.
are
You'll be able to have a
actively,
copy like this, but a little nicer still.
yeah, we're actively working on number 2. So, Dan Dies in the End, number 2 is coming soon.
From Hell or High Water, we will have number 2.
Hell or high water. We're doing it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Go check out the Lollygaggers, twitch.tv/the Lollygaggers. Jeff runs some awesome shit. You can catch some of us over there on Mondays. Twitch.tv/TheWyanderRPG. You can catch Jeff there every other Thursday. You just finished up your last one, right? Your last little mini campaign. So something new's coming up this Thursday. And then every other Thursday you can catch Defenders of Cobalt there. We usually run Bloody Marches. That's beautiful, Jake.
Thank you.
We usually run Bloody Marches. We're taking a little break from that because, the party kind of blew up the world with a nuclear bomb. So I'm putting together what's happening next.
As one does.
One does.
Hey, it was either that or we could have just watched it explode normally.
It's true. True.
So we chose the more devastating option.
Absolutely. Go look up Friendon for all your art stuff. Friendon always makes wonderful art, and he's on all sorts of projects.
I just feel like
including the art from Dan Dies, which is
Friendon did 100% of the art for Dan Dies at the end. Jen did all of our layout.
There's some more of that quality art and layout in the same page.
Yeah.
That's a good spread.
Jeff does he does a lot of our writing. He also does all of our copy edit. I do a lot of our writing. We all do work together to make our fun communal projects like our magical items, our goblins. Like, it is a group effort. And you should definitely check it out. 50 cents. Go get it. It's worth it.
I want to drink a can of
Jake's
Zing
Zing.
so bad.
It's so fucking wonderful. Irene, this is your first time on the channel. Thanks. I hope this is the first of many.
Agreed.
Meaning you're not allowed to leave us ever.
You're fucking trapped.
Welcome to the cult. We will decide who you date and when.
So what they don't tell you is it's actually Defenders of Cult Bold. So
it'd been a long time since we'd had a pun, so I appreciate that.
Right. Oh, I'm glad we went with the pun. I was just going to say, if this channel doesn't work out, I got a cup of Kool-Aid for everyone.
Here's
that,
times we had.
Brendan and I have our plans for the cult.
We do.
For the cult? Okay. Cults are a thing. Listen, I don't think enough things in this world get blamed on cults. Ashley always yells at me.
It's about time we took the blame.
Oh my god, Jacob, god damn it.
Oh, it's so great. All right. Thanks everyone thanks all of you for hanging out. This has been fun. It's been great hanging out with you. Thanks for everyone for watching. You know where to find all of us. Lollygaggers, Zweihander, Defenders of Cobalt. Listen, we're all over the fucking place. So until we see you next time, please start fires, do drugs, and tip your fucking bartenders. Deuces.
Good night, everybody.
Bye. I gotta find the fucking sign-off screen.
I'm gonna hold the post.
Keep holding it. I don't know. There it is. All right. Goodbye.